YouTube. That's a good stopping point, I guess. Dang. I was jamming there. Good morning to everybody. Ben here. Back from tour. Shaved all the blonde off. Probably never going to do that again. That was a big mistake. I have my telecaster here. It is really good to be home. I'm so psyched to be home. Tour was awesome. Thank you everybody in Europe who came out to the shows. We sold out, man, every show except I think like 4 shows maybe, which was incredible. It's really hard to be in a bad mood on a almost sold out tour. Everybody was having a really rad time. Everybody was getting along swimmingly. It was perfect. But I had some blues on the tour because I almost brought my telecaster, mainly just to play backstage and with headphones and in the bus and in the lounge. And I didn't because I was lazy. I was like, I don't need to bring another bag. And Michael from Elder had his telly, and I played it only like one time just for like 30 seconds just to check it out. And I was really bummed out that I didn't bring mine. So I'm always gonna bring this out from now on. Just because some days you wake up and you just want to play Roy Buchanan licks, which is what I was trying to do just now with that backing track. Kind of a kindergarten version of what Roy would do. I'd say he's my 3rd favorite guitar player. See if you guys can guess number 1 and number 2. It might be pretty obvious. But yeah, Roy Buchanan, incredible. It would have been cool to be 30 years older than I am and get to see him around the DC area play. I'm plugged into this little Harmony, the 1-watt wonder, 1-knob wonder. It's got a 6-inch speaker. It sounds absolutely glorious. Pentatonic King. I love that. This amp is awesome. I got that on Guitar Center's website for $175. And it needed a lot of work. A lot of Shapiro, my buddy in Nashville. I think he gave it a cap job and stuff, but I think like out the door, the cost was still worth it to have that thing up and running. This is this kind of amp I used on every album so far, except for the one that we just recorded, where I would normally use this with slide. I used a brown face Princeton, I think, or brown face Deluxe on a track called Ethernet. I do a lot of slide on it. It's really cool. This telly has 9s on it. You can hear it. It bends really well. I love that right there, that pointer finger bend. Nines have spank. Also, this amp is amazing for just practicing and playing as far as, you know, not waking up anybody. I'm in my studio right now, so I can really play it as loud as I want, but iPhone compression says otherwise. Gosh, I love this guitar. Real quick, this is kind of a state of the channel, state of the union for my channel. I hit 10,000 subscribers, so thank you for that. It happened like kind of towards the end of the tour, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal to me. I'm very appreciative. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Please tell everybody about this channel. It's gonna be ever growing. There's gonna be just a lot of kind of like jamming things coming up, hanging out, so to say. I don't know, I might call this little series Hanging Out with Ben. because that's what it is. We're not going to be, you know, not going to be learning too much. It's just kind of an inside look at things I'm into at the moment. My Telecaster, very much so. And my brown hair, again, I'm very excited about. Yeah, 10,000 subscribers and continuing to rise. So if you're watching this video, please subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Patreon is done. On January 1st, Patreon's going to be done. I'm going to take the site down. So if you want to stay updated with my guitarings, subscribe to this channel. Please like and subscribe. I won't beg you too much after that. I guess as far as the channel, you know, Patreon was more like lessons, like strictly lessons and stuff. And this channel is just going to be more playing. You know, I follow a couple like YouTube, whoops, dropped my pick. I follow a couple like YouTube guitar players, and as much as I appreciate what they do, you know, I'm not trying to be like that. Like I'm not trying to post videos where it's like 3 rules that jazz guitar players don't want you to know and like clickbait stuff. I've, you know, dabbled in that and tried it, and it's just not me. It's not me. So I don't want to add more trash and more spam and clickbait material. You guys get enough of that. I get enough of that. And while it definitely works and builds channels and adds subscribers, that's not the way I want to do it. You know, I want to do it in a more natural way. So for those of you who subscribe and who are into what I'm doing on this channel, it means so much. Thank you. If you don't know already, this guitar right here, it has Fralin Blues Specials. Now, it came stock with just whatever Fender puts in it, but Kenny Vaughn's my favorite living guitar player. I asked him one time about what pickups he has in his tellies, and he said Blues Specials. But he only has a Blues Special in the neck pickup, I believe, but I just got the set. And they sound incredible, plus they're black, which kind of blends in. Here's the neck pickup. And then the bridge pickup, Blues Special. Middle position. That's the neck pickup there. They sound incredible. Or sorry, that was the bridge pickup. This neck pickup is just amazing. Truly a blues special. Oh, by the way, I read your comments. I do. I think it would be dumb not to. You know, I'm not trying to ignore anybody who watches my videos. And there's been some hate. There's been some interesting comments, which, you know, I don't take with a grain of salt. You know, I try and take the bad comments and see what I can do better for my channel. One of my favorite ones, though, was, I won't say a name. I don't even remember the person's name who commented. It was on a video from my Cranked Princeton, and they said, all the guitar sounds recorded by you sound extremely bad. And it hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings a little bit. Because I don't really know what they were talking about. Especially because 7 times out of 10, I'm recording my videos with an iPhone, with the iPhone camera. So sorry about that. Also, I never said a cranked Princeton sounded good. They're fun to play, but you know, a Princeton on 3 or 4 to me sounds better than a Princeton on 10. Now a Tweed Deluxe on 10, that sounds really damn good. A Marshall Super Bass on 10 sounds really good. But for someone to, you know, comment and say all the guitar sounds recorded by you sound extremely bad, that's a bold statement. So if they have the guts to say something like that, I have the guts to address it. One of my other favorite comments was, tubes don't matter. Tubes don't make a difference in tone. And I commented back, I said, you know, everybody hears things differently. You know, let's not just jump to conclusions. Your experience is different than mine. But what I've heard and felt with tubes, they make a huge difference. I have new old stock RCAs in my Princeton over there. I have new old stock tubes in this amp. I hear and feel a difference. That's me. You may not. You know, you may have not been playing guitar for 20 plus years. But when you get to a certain point, the smallest differences are huge. To me, they are. I want to know more about what you guys think. But anyway, so I commented, you know, everyone's experience is different. Everyone hears different things. You know, my ears are different than yours. I'm not saying mine are better. Mine are probably worse, to be honest with you, playing 13 years and all them, which is just now moving to in-ears. So yeah, my ears probably suck. So I replied, you know, I replied that. And then they replied, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. You know, just completely saying that I'm wrong, which, you know, sure, I'm wrong a lot. That was a funny one. I get like random comments about people, you know, saying how funny it is that I know very little about gear. You're exactly right. I don't know that much about gear. I know what I like. I know what I like to hear. But, you know, I'm not going to spend hours, you know, testing out different gear and learning about it, learning, you know, how to set up my guitars and stuff, because I honestly, I just want to play them. I just want to play the damn things. I just want to plug into my amp and play it. I think the number one thing to focus on is actually playing. You know, right now I'm focusing on playing over changes more, which is something that I've never really done. I've always just been like pentatonic scale till I die. But now I'm trying to get better at playing over changes this late in life too, which is pretty hilarious. Kind of wish I got started with that earlier. Yeah, just focusing on playing and getting better and practicing and playing to backing tracks or to a metronome or to a freeze pedal. I'd rather do that than, you know, learn about what caps sound better in my amp, or, you know, what intonation is right for my Telecaster. I have people that are professionals that focus on that. I'll just focus on the playing. Anyway, yeah, Europe was incredible. It was really cool. Some notable gigs, obviously O2, Kentish Town in London. Sold out show. I think it was about 2,400 people. It was the most beautiful theater. It was awesome. But anyone who caught us at the tail end of the tour, specifically Barcelona and Madrid. Man, Madrid, gosh. I was most happy with my playing in Madrid. It was the second to last show, and I felt like I was getting to where I wanted to be, playing-wise. And I'm going to take that mentality and, you know, try to get to that sooner on our East Coast run in the States next month. But it was just, Madrid was one of those gigs where I felt like I could go anywhere on the fretboard. I could just like take off at like any moment and like really nail things. that was our 9th show in a row, was Madrid. So maybe that's what it takes for me, just playing as many shows in a row as possible. But, you know, the first couple gigs of a tour are they're never going to be the best. We're going to try to make them the best. But man, if you want to see us at our finest, me at my best, like try to catch tail end of tours when it's just second nature. Everything is just rocking. Really, really cool. There's a lick over change in that intro video that I just wanted to show you guys. So I'm in B. Oh, to that person who replied that all the guitar sounds that I record sound extremely bad, I tried to make it extra bad for you. I'm in my shitty little 1 watt amp and iPhone speaker, so here you go. This one's for you, man. B major, kind of like pentatonic blues going on here. When you get to the 5, the F sharp, there's a cool turnaround I was doing. So it's like on the B string, 9, 10, 11, and then on the E string, 9, and then I'm bending up a little bit on 12th fret on the high E. Ooh, and then that there, I think I threw that in. And then when you go down to the 4 chord, the E, you can do the same thing. And then look, you're right here ready to go back to major on the G. I liked that one a lot. It just kind of happened naturally, and I was like, oh, that's playing over a change, as opposed to just going. You know, that's your basic stock pentatonic stuff. There's also a cool lick. I think I have maybe shown it here on YouTube. There's a cool lick there that you can do on the 5 chord as well. You can do it both on the 5 and the 4 chord. Here's the 5. 4. Oh, yeah. So you can either do something like this, or I threw in a on the 5, and then on the 4, you can do something like that, which is cool because those are all just notes in a row, you know, like from the 14th fret all the way down to the 10th. You know, like you wouldn't normally hit those in a row. I mean, you could. That could be a cool turnaround, like. That's pretty sweet right there. Anyway, just food for thought. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Fender Telecaster for the win. Feels so good to play a Tele after a month of playing a Les Paul. I love it. I'm gonna start bringing this out. Anyway, stay tuned for the next hang. Thank you guys so much. I read your comments, remember that. So be as brutal as you want, but just know that I will see it. And I'm a person with a soul. I have a family, and you know, I'm a real person. You don't need to be so brutal to people on the internet. Just some advice that I'm constantly trying to remind myself as well. So be nice to people. Anyway, see you guys soon. Thank you.